Now, what are atomic orbits? The most important observation about Bohr's model was that that electrons move in circular stationary orbits. We saw that orbits are the circular trajectory path followed by an electron while moving around the nucleus. It is also called as a shell. Why are they called stationary? Because the electron does not absorb or emit energy when it is moving in the orbit. You can see here, this is the diagram for an atom of argon, where it has got 2 electrons immediately in the orbit after the nucleus. Then there are 8 electrons here, that is after the K shell we come to the L, and then on the M shell there are 18 electrons. These orbits are also called as shells. Now, here we can see the K shell is very near to the atom nucleus, L shell is just beyond K, M is next to L, and N beyond M, O beyond N, and so on. Depending upon the distance of the orbit from the nucleus, the energy associated with the electron moving in the orbit can be calculated. These orbits are called as K, L, M, N. So far, it is assumed that these orbits are circular. This is with reference to the Bohr's atomic model. Each orbit has been characterized by the number of maximum electrons it can allow to move along it, or the maximum number of electrons it can hold as electrons move around the nucleus in that orbit. This number can be calculated by a formula 2n square, where n is the number of the orbit, and obviously it can take values 1, 2, 3. What is 1, 2, 3? The values of n. You can see here in the diagram, n is equal to 1 for the K shell, for the L shell it is 2, for M shell it is 3. Put in the value over there and you get 2 into 1 raised to 2, that is 2 electrons in the K shell. 2 into 2 raised to 2, that becomes 8 electrons in the L shell, and so on. Now, labeling of these atomic orbits. Why did we label the orbits as KLM, or why are the orbits labeled as KLM? Well, strictly speaking, they could have been started from ABCD, but it is not. And why not? There is some history behind this. There was a renowned spectroscopist, Charles Bakla, who was studying X-rays emitted by elements. He observed that 2 types of X-rays were emitted by atoms when they were bombarded with high energy electrons. One was a high energy X-ray, the other one was a low energy X-ray. And now what are X-rays? X-rays are, see here, if you can see the atom of an element over here, we are bombarding this element, or we are shining upon this element electrons, that is high energy electrons, and the outermost electron is knocked off. Or say, here we can see the innermost electron is knocked off. Anything might happen. Supposing the innermost electron is knocked off and it moves out of the atom, then there can be one electron which is immediately after that shell, which can jump into this inner shell. In that process, it will be emitting energy, and this energy is called as X-ray. Again, it can, this hole over here, that is the vacant place due to the emission of the electron from this inner shell, K shell, can also be occupied by some other electron from, say, this M shell. So, that M shell can also come over here, and it can the M shell electron can also come over here, and it can again occupy this place. So, then there is a vacancy created in the M shell. And in this way, we can find that when this M shell electron moves on down over here, then again some energy will be emitted. So, when the nearest electron is coming from the L shell into the K shell to occupy that vacant position created in the K shell, then some energy is emitted. Here we can see from 3 it goes to 2. Then energy emitted is in the form of X-rays. And what Bakla observed was there were 2 types of X-rays. One was a high energy X-ray, one was a low energy X-ray. What is that low energy X-ray? If their electron is coming down from this outermost shell over here, then it will come into the L shell. L shell electron will move into the K shell. But what about this electron which was removed? Then that is going to be the highest energy electron, because the orbit next to the nucleus is having highest energy. So, the electrons near the nucleus is having the highest energy. So, those electrons will give out the K rays. When the L electron moves into that K shell to occupy that empty space, it gives out the lower energy rays. So, that is how the X-rays were observed. And Barkla observed initially that we can name them as A rays as the high energy rays and the B rays as the low energy rays. But later he realized that A rays need not be the highest energy, there can be still some more. So he kept place for 10 more discoveries to come along, and he started from K, L, M, N and so on, naming the orbits.